Hey Denver, it's Mayor Hancock here. It's now time for Friday Mail with the Mayor. As we get started, I want to jump in by getting started and talking about some action that took place with City Council this week as they passed the Supervised Use Sites Ordinance that was sponsored by City Councilman Albus Brooks. Already this year, the city of Denver has seen 159 overdose deaths in our city. Last year, we saw 201. This city is reeling from this opiate epidemic that has befallen the entire nation. It is something that major cities and even rural areas are finding ways to try to address. And what this bill does is allow Denver to kind of think outside the box, as some countries have already done, and that is to provide a safe location for people who are dealing with this disease to inject themselves, while at the same time having trained professionals around to help reverse the causes of overdose and hopefully reduce the number of fatalities that have occurred, but also to begin to direct people to services and treatment as best we can while they're in those facilities. So this is an important bill, and I want to congratulate and thank Councilman Brooks for thinking outside the box, thinking creatively, and trying to bring a global best practice to Denver, Colorado. But I want to remind everyone that our goal is to ultimately save lives and ultimately move people to a healthier place in their lives without these drugs. This is only effective if the state legislature moves to enable these type of sites to be developed around the state of Colorado. We also remind everyone that Denver cannot begin to write or implement rules and regulations until a bill passed by the state legislature becomes effective. And so this was pretty much a message sent to the state legislature that if and when they decide to take this issue up and to think proactively and to think creatively on how we can address this opiate crisis, Denver stands ready to move forward. And so again, I just wanted to explain to everyone what we're doing. Our main goals under all this, again, continues to be preventing substance misuse, improving treatment access and retention, and reducing harm. And so I want to thank you all who have written in about this issue, asking to better understand what we're trying to do here. We know it's counterintuitive, but we have to think creatively because this disease is very serious, and we've got to find a way to help those individuals who are addicted, but also help the public to respond appropriately. Let's go ahead and jump into some other mail. Many of you saw the news this past couple of weeks where we saw a couple of violent incidents over in Lodo and in Hydo, or Ballpark neighborhoods in Denver. And I received a couple of questions on social media, and I want to just go over a couple of those. Brad Hubbard on Facebook wrote, "Thank you, Mr. Mayor and Denver PD. There are still a lot of issues in this area, and the main one is drugs. My coworker commented to me this afternoon that he witnessed 2 more drug deals. This is less than a block away and in the middle of the afternoon. Please let us know what we can do to help." Brad, thank you. We all have to be committed. This is one of those situations where if you see something, say something. That's the best way for us to whittle us down. We cannot tolerate this type of behavior in our cities. And the only way for us to deal with the scourge of drug dealing in the areas, and some, as we have already learned, become very fatal, is all of us good citizens, when we see things, do not remain silent. Don't act like we don't see it and walk on by and say it's not our business. If we see dealing on the street, you can quietly and confidentially call 911 or the non-emergency line for the Denver Police at 720-913-2000 and report any suspicious behavior. We need to get on this. We need to stay on this. And we need to make it very uncomfortable for those who want to deal drugs in our cities. So if you see something, say something. Thank you, Brad, for writing in, and remaining aware is the best way for us all to help deal with this. Police can't be everywhere, but you can certainly help us by bringing and alerting us to the fact that you see dealing going on. Jeff Warner on Twitter wrote, "The community needs more police patrols in cars and on foot. Please hire more officers and work with us to help improve safety for an amazing part of town without just punishing the homeless." Jeff, thank you very much. And in fact, there's nothing about our approach with regards to homeless is bent on punishing them. It's actually bent on connecting them to services and to shelter and to help them get to a more stable way of life. In the hiring of police officers over the past 3 or 4 years, Actually, the city of Denver has been one of the most aggressive jurisdictions in Colorado in hiring police officers. In fact, you should know we have authorized the Denver Police Department to hire and train an additional officer for the past several years. In fact, this year alone, we had hired 100 new police officers, and in 2019, we're planning to hire an additional 125 new officers. Now, unfortunately, a lot of this can be offset with attrition. That is normal in any organization, but we're on a very aggressive journey to hire more police officers in the city of Denver. As part of our community policing issues, I will tell you that we have a mix of police officers on bikes, on foot, as well as in their cars. And particularly in areas like Lodo and Ballpark and downtown, we have officers who are not in police cruisers, but are biking and walking, and in some cases, we even have them mounted on our horses. So I want to thank you for writing in, Jeff, and just to let you know that we are working very hard to hire more police officers. So we're moving in the right direction and bringing more officers to serve our community and people who want to make sure we deal with these issues effectively. Unfortunately, that's all we have time for today. I want to thank you all for writing in. Keep them coming, and we'll do our best to answer them. Have a great weekend.